What's up, guys? Mr. Knows Hoops back today with another video. And today, guys, we are going to be talking about the Miami Heat, who since about the 30th or 31st of January, they are 9-3, and since All-Star, they are 3-1, second in half-court defense according to Cleaning the Glass. And today, before getting into anything, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We can hit 700. I know we can. And then we're on the real road to 1K. We're right there, guys. So again, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Also, I've seen your guys' comments, so I'm trying to make my face cam smaller. If this isn't good enough, I'll have to figure out somewhere else to put my face cam entirely. But without further ado, this is Mr. Knows Hoops. Don't forget to join the Discord in the description, and let's get started. So the first person I want to talk about in this stretch is Bam Adebayo, who's averaging 19, 10, and 4 on 56 from the field, 0 from 3, but I mean, it's on like very small amount of threes anyways, and 76 from this the line with 2 stocks, steals and blocks. So let's get into why I think this team has been so good defensively. It's because they got Bam. And to be honest, before he got hurt, Bam was probably my defensive player of the year. Now I think it's Rudy Gobert, and I don't know how you could make an argument against him. But let's go, right? And part of the reason we're going to keep going, right? Want to get into the actual film for you guys. So Larry Nance here is going to get the screen for Alvarado, right? And you see Bam is sort of sinking. And you see him come over for help, go over, boom. He's such an athletic big. Now, that is for better and for worse. And we'll get into why it necessarily can be at times for worse for a team like the Heat. But then you see Tyler Herro here trying to play a little bit more of a press against Herb Jones, while silently switching off and trying to trap Robinson, right? It's got Murphy, goes down to Zion. And at this point, Bam just knows where he's going. He reads him the entire way and just stops him. There's nothing he can do. And it's those kind of reads that are so good, right? So they're going to get the ball here, right? And they're fighting, and they get the ball. And it's just the fight that Bam always has. He's not necessarily like Jimmy in terms of like a heart and soul of the team. But when you're out there on the floor and you see Bam Adebayo is giving his all on every possession, I think playing with him, it for sure is something that motivates you. Now, let's get into the positive and negative thing that I was just discussing. I think the positive of it is Bam is by far one of the most versatile defenders in the league. I don't know if I would go as confident as like 1 through 5, but he honestly, he's 1 through 5. Like, he can guard any and everybody. Now, will he do it well every single night? No. But no defender does. To me, the negative is, though, is that Bam, I think, at his best could be a 4. And you would have a bigger, like actual center next to him. Because, to me, part of the reason that we don't necessarily get to see that defensive impact, or maybe just a power forward for the Heat. Maybe not even him at the 4. And shout out to Karma and Dream Hoops and Sleeping and all the Heat fans in the Discord. And we've talked about this before, and I somewhat agree. Bam's counting stats and advanced stats defensively are for sure skewed because the way that they play through switching and being more Bam doesn't really get his chance to be just more of a rim protector / like drop guy. And part of that is they don't necessarily have the size on the team to let him do that. So for better or for worse, up to you guys, I think Bam defensively has been really good. And then, I mean, part of it is too, we just have to remember, right? There's Bam, the offensive player. And I'm not going to sit here and say he's some, mastermind on offense. But when he pushes the tempo here, right? What I love so much is how he's able to help facilitate. So they run with the screen and roll action here with Herro to get the ball back and fights to go to the hoop, right? It's that fight that Bam has that is always so important, right? Again, going to go to get the ball out to Herro. And they double, or not Herro, Robinson, my apologies, gets the bounce pass. And since they just take too long, boom, right up and over, right? That beautiful reads by Bam. I do still think at times we get the glimpse of what Bam should be, that aggressive attacking center. At some point, We just had to acknowledge it's not who he is, or it doesn't last. And the reason I say that is I'm pretty sure it was on Twitter or somewhere, but it's always like Bam always starts off super hot to start the season. And either, unfortunately, due to an injury or just by All-Star week, by that All-Star break, his numbers just suffer. And I think part of it is due to aggressiveness. Some of it could be due to fatigue. Because, again, you're asking this guy to do so much defensively, too. But now I want to get into the next part of the video, which is Tyler Herro and Jaime Jaquez. Now, we're not going to spend as much time on Jaime because we've already talked about, him in a video before. But these two guys are a big reason the Heat have helped sort of get something going, especially when they've had so many injuries, suspensions. They've just had so much going on that to have some form of, of help is huge. So starting off here, we're going to get a little bit of what this team does so well, right? You're going to see what I love here, too. And again, it's part of this is still on Bam. Like, just look at this read, right? Boom, Robinson help creates, tags, Barnes, Jaime, calls for it, because at that point, it's just him and De'Aaron at the rim and gets a tough finish. But that's a great pass by Bam and great patience. But now, let's get down to Tyler Herro, or my apologies, Jaime Jaquez, who is averaging 10, 4, and 2 on 44 from the field, 19 from 3. Now, I think this will come back up. I mean, it's only on it's only on a couple game. And 72 from the line. He's giving you about a steal a night, right? But it's just the effort, right? So he tags a bonus here, right? Because he knows where Fox trying to go. So he's already got him at the hip because he's calling for it because he has a mismatch. And Jaquez does a beautiful job of cutting it off to help push and create some form of transition offense. And then, of course, coming up here, we're going to see a little fake DHO. Tyler's going to run around the screen. And then we got to talk about one of my favorite players on this team, Tyler Herro, who's averaging 19, 5, and 5. And all these stats guys are within this stretch since the 30th or 31st of January. Who's averaging 19, 5, and 5 on 45 from the field, 39 from 3, and about 7 threes a game. So that's elite shooting. And 73 from the line. All right. Beats his man off the dribble. Gets Martin wide open due to this, defensive misread. But I think it's having a real facilitator, ball handler that's going to be huge for this team. Right. So they're going to get the ball off in a very Heat fashion. They love running a motion-esque offense, at least in the regular season, right? So they get Herro, run a little screen, get another screen action. Beautiful pass here, right? So let's just rewind and go over. So Jaime basically cuts off the man because Payne, at this point, he's still thinking that Jaime's over here. He's ball watching because he saw that, Buddy Hield couldn't get over the screen. So instead, Herro just makes beautiful reads for the inside man with basically no interior presence. And then, of course, you have stuff like this I think is so important. I think for Tyler Herro and the Heat especially to continue to succeed, as much as I love the fact that Tyler Herro is one of the few self-shot creators that this team has, I think, though, for him specifically, the easier the better. Now, obviously, that's for any player ever, so I'm sure, I'm sorry, that's it. But the reason I say this is, just watch the rest of this play, right? So he gets Bam on the screen action. Buddy Hield can't really do anything with him. And he just pulls, right? Because Paul Reed, for some reason, goes into a drop. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen every time. But I think the idea is, for guys like Herro, when they're in their rhythm, they're going. And when they're going, they're very, very dangerous. So for me, Herro and Jaquez represent two different things. Herro is a facilitator slash, like, when you need him, you can have him, shoot it. Obviously, I'm giving the ball to Jimmy, but Herro is still someone that can just step up when you really need him the most. And then Jaime is their glue guy. I've made a video about Jaime earlier in the season, and I still do believe everything I've said in that video. But I think we're going to see him grow and develop And it's going to be a really fun thing to watch, especially under someone like Eric Spoelstra. So hopefully, as time it continues to get starts, burn, things will work out. Then we have Jimmy Butler, averaging 23, 7, and 6 on 54 from the field, 48 from 3. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of an asterisk. That's on like 2 threes a game. I don't think I'm expecting Jimmy Butler to be shooting this well. 75 from the field with 2.8 stocks. Right? So we're going to see here Butler's playing on Sochan. Now, why is Butler on someone like Sochan and not, obviously not Victor, but like, their better ball handler like a Vassell, Keldon Johnson? Because Jeremy Sochan is not that good of a three-point shooter. So it allows Jimmy to do something he does great, which is play in the lanes, right? Jimmy sort of sits here because he knows Sochan is not getting this ball, and he knows it's going to Victor. So he forces the issue. Part of it is a bad pass by Trey Jones, but forces the issue on Victor and steals the ball. Again, take a look, right? We're going to see Jimmy sink, right? Stick with Zach Collins specifically, right? They fight over the screen, know the ball, can't get out, pokes it, continue. This is like Chicago Jimmy. Like, this is just that sheer dog fight for the ball that we don't really see. I mean, it's not that we don't see it, but that is, we all have to remember. I think some people do get lost in it a little bit. That is what Jimmy Butler's that was what the moneymaker was for him when he started with us in Chicago. It was the defense. Bare minimum. Like, he would give you elite defense, and he still gives you that on certain nights. Now, obviously, again, we all know, we all meme and joke about it. Regular season Jimmy is not as serious, or, obviously, I think every player tries, but you know what I'm saying. It's dialed back. But now that he's finally like taking it at least semi-seriously, this team is showing really good results. They're climbing the standings, even though they technically just fell because they lost a game. But I mean, on any given night, a team like the Pacers, the Magic, the Sixers with no Embiid, especially, can fall. And you can rise and get into the playoffs naturally, not have to worry about a play-in spot, which is huge, right? And then you have Jimmy the Passer, which I think gets forgotten about a lot too. So he gets Sochan here, right? And Bam running in causes this little double action, which again is just super smart basketball by the Heat. And then, of course, you have Jimmy, the scorer. I mean, what more can we really discuss, right? He's going to get the ball here, right? Wide open. Now, do I think he's always going to be wide open? No. But I think if he can continue to kind of keep a respectable three-point shot to where teams have to respect him, it could change the game. Now, why do I think this Heat? I think part of it is, one, they're finally having they had some form of health and consistency going. Two, the only teams they've lost to are, for most people, upper echelon teams. They lost to the Clippers, the Nuggets just last night, and I believe, I'm blanking on the other team, but they also beat teams like the Bucks, the Kings, the Pelicans, who are playoff to, in the case of the Bucks, contending caliber teams. I think part of it is the defense is starting to become the identity again, for sure. I think Terry Rozier will hopefully kind of get it figured out scoring-wise. This team, I mean, my thing is, and it's like my thumbnail says, we've all seen this before. This team either will look like, they're all right, or they're not that good this year. And then the playoffs will come around. And then Jimmy's doing what he does. Bam's still giving you elite defense. And then the role guys step up a level. And then you'll see him in the finals or the conference finals again. So I think part of it is the defense has finally kind of figured itself out. The lineups are starting to become more consistent. But this Heat team's dangerous. And if I'm a team like the Knicks, the Cavs, I do not like seeing them in a 4-5 matchup. Absolutely not. So as always, guys, this is Mr. Nose Hoops. Let me know what you guys think about the Heat's recent run. Do we think they're just breaking lucky? Or do we think that this is something legit that can build into the playoff momentum? So as always, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.